All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to my second stream. I hope we're live. I still haven't fully figured it out how to actually see that you're live. And also, I told everybody to be here in about 7 minutes approximately, and we already started because why not? Okay. We don't listen to the rules. Okay, I think I'm live. Yes, we're live! Woohoo! I love it. Okay, welcome everybody. I have my chat next to me as well. I'm just gonna wait a little bit because I hope the internet is better. I'm literally logged in on my own Twitch in the background and I can see myself and it's pixelated AF. Okay, it's adjusting. This looks a lot better. My loves, I'm just gonna wait for everybody to jump on, for more people to mingle. Okay, this is so fun because it is so new to me, but here we are. Okay, while we're still testing, I guess for the next 7 minutes, I thought I'm gonna give you a quick rundown of what the agenda is today. So first of all, I need to clear up a few things. I'm traveling. I'm in Croatia. I'm on holidays. And I thought I'm still gonna go live and connect with you because I love you. You're my community. However, I don't have my ring light with me, and this is the natural light that I'm seeking from my window. This is currently the setup we're working with, okay? And I really do hope that this can last for the next 1.5 hours, okay? So if this gets a little bit darker and you can't see my face anymore, it's genuinely because the sun is setting. Like, I'm literally in the bedroom, cramped into a little corner, and I'm trying to get the most sunlight as possible. Okay, in 5 minutes, it's official start time, so hopefully we have a few more people join, and we can also open the chat and do a live Q&A. I also have some questions, as always, that I had submitted from Instagram, and they're all here on my phone. So we're going to go through them as well. And then the other thing I wanted to speak about with you is the following, okay? And this is really interesting. Like, I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on that topic, what I'm about to present. There's a streamer, another streamer called Clavicular, I think his name is. And he's like the looks maxing guy. And sometimes, like, I'm a TikToker, I'm a streamer myself. So, like, I'm really heavily invested in pop culture, streaming, Twitch, TikTok, and other people that are also content creators, because like, you want to learn from other people, you want to see what's happening in the different niches and industries. And so I think he's quite young, but he's very, very popular on his stream, on Twitch, on Kick, on TikTok as well. And he's a looks maxing guy. He has his own nightclub in Miami and so on. He also made a shit ton of money from this. And he's dating a girl, or was dating a girl called Lily. I think Lily Snyder is her name. I think she's only 18, like, they're quite young. So I feel like I'm not one to judge because, when we were younger, all of us probably made poor choices in dating, in men, and whatsoever, in life choices overall. But they recently publicly broke up on their live stream. And especially with streaming, for everybody listening to this, because I'm going to record and also publish it on every other platform there is. On streams, because it's live, I feel you can't fake a personality. You can't really hide especially when it comes to your values, your ethics, your morals, your integrity, like how you interact with people. Obviously, this is me just talking to you, but even this and the real life interaction, like, you can't really fake it. It's not like other forms of media where you can cut and edit and filter and shape and sort of change the narrative to your liking, if that makes sense. I need to quickly refresh something. Sorry, excuse me here. I'm going to quickly check my iPad because something ain't working. How do I open the chat on my iPad again? See, I'm new to all of this. Chat. Okay. But yeah, so basically on their live stream, they broke up. And the way all of this unfolded was a little wild, like wild. That was very German, a little wild. It was a little wild. And I feel when I rewatched all of the little snippets on TikTok and the other platforms, I just felt like I need to speak up here as like the older sister, or as a dating coach, or like, a woman that teaches about lifestyle, psychology, relationships, and all of it, to protect other women. And Lily, if you're watching this, also some feedback for you, okay? What not to do, what to do, especially with a personality like him, which we don't know in personal. He's obviously just like not a fictional character, how do you say? Like a personality or character online. But it's just interesting to learn from that type of situation. Okay, we have 3 more minutes. I'm so excited. Okay, wait, let me put my phone down and open up my no, let me put my mic down and let me open up my phone. And so everything I teased just then, talking about Clev and Lily and their breakup and their stream and everything, we're going to do real life review. Okay, so once 5 o'clock hits, once we have more people in the chat, we're going to do real life review, which I'm really, really excited about. And I'm going to tease it now. Why not? So basically it would look something like this. Obviously, like I said, I'm literally on my own stream at the moment. Hi, this is Anna Kristina Inception. But yeah, here's already the videos that are being queued and some background stories for everybody who's living underneath a rock. Who are these people that I'm talking about? What's going on? What can we learn from them and all of that? Okay. So let me go back. Here we are. Okay, 2 more minutes. And we can start. I'm so excited I caught you live. Yes, I'm so excited for everybody to be here. Blow up the chat. Let me know your questions because I hope you can hear me. I obviously have prepared some questions from Instagram and TikTok in my question box, but it's really fun to interact with you all live while we're here together and share this intimate moment. Do you know, I don't know if this is like available on Twitch, but I kind of want to open, like for my next stream, I actually want to like open a bottle of red wine and maybe have some food and then do like a Anna Kristina date night. And we could even talk about like feminine mannerisms, gestures. I could literally give you real life, like in-person seduction tricks. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that would be really fun. And I also want to share more with you about like certain beauty products and stuff. Like this Twitch stream to me is like my new baby. Every single platform I build or commit to, whether also being my business, by the way, I feel like it's like my new adopted child. And then I just commit to it and I want to blow it up. I want to grow it. I'm putting my everything into something. This is, by the way, probably one of the best attitudes you can have towards life. Like either everything or nothing. You know, like you got to commit to something. If it's half-assed, also still haven't figured out if I'm allowed to swear on here or not. But if it's not done properly, just don't do it at all. That's like my take. You know, if you're not doing something properly, don't do it at all. For example, with me on TikTok at the moment, I just don't have the time right now to show up for short form videos. So I'm going all in with my long format stuff, you know, on like every single platform. Long form. Also all of my coaching and mentoring and all of that as well. I'm going all in. Sometimes you go through different seasons in life and, you know, you change and your focus changes, but always stick to the mindset of being super black and white. Yes or no, all in or nothing, right? Because I think that's a winner's mentality, not the whole shebang of a gray zone, not knowing what to do and being stuck in being a maybe person. In Germany, we say a flag in the wind, you know, like wherever the wind blows, you kind of bend to that direction as well. Don't be like that. Have a backbone, know what you want, and also know what you don't want. Also, another big sister advice. It is so good if you know what you don't want, because that can be your guide to knowing what you want in the future. So many women come to me and they say, well, Anna, I don't know what I want. Well, do you know what you don't want? And then they have a full list of things they know they don't want. So really, if that resonates with you, write out a full list of all the things that are like no-goes for you and that you don't want in your life. You know, something that you just don't see for yourself, whether it is in dating, relationship, marriage, your overall lifestyle, your health, your body. Like, I don't want to look a certain way, X, Y, Z. Okay, great. If you don't want to go there and look like that or be perceived that way, what can you do? My nails look really good. Sorry. What can you do that you perceived another way? Does that make sense? Okay, my loves. The chat is open. We officially hit 5 p.m. Welcome everybody to my live stream. If you're new here, my name is Anna Kristina. I'm the creator of the Black Cat Academy and also Black Cat Theory, which is the black cat versus the golden retriever. One person in the relationship is always the chaser and the other one is being chased. Also, I'm currently on holidays in Croatia and the light is not the best. Okay, I'm sitting underneath my window because I don't have my, the proper official lighting. Okay, I don't have that available right now. Okay, now that we're all here, my loves, let's get into today's questions before we're going to do a little live review of some relationships online. I'm going to favor some of these questions first, and then please, if you're here live with me, I would love to talk to you live as well, okay? Everyone's so excited. I'm so excited too. Oh my God, I love this. I love having my own little show. Like, I made myself so comfortable. I've got like a little can of Coke here. I also brought my lippies. I'm like very prepared, okay? All right, my loves. First question. What to do when the guy you've been seeing for 1 month texts you and calls you the wrong female name? Run, okay? One word, run. And says it's because he was half asleep that he made this mistake and it's a girl he doesn't like anyway. I'm super offended. Okay, let's decode this. This is very different to a man sleeping next to you and in his sleep mumbling a random girl's name. Even that, probably not the greatest, but you could let him get away with it, right? Because maybe he had a little dream. Like, this reminds me of the scene in Wolf of Wall Street where Leonardo DiCaprio is like, Venice, Venice. And then Margot Robbie comes with the glass of water and she's like, wake up, you piece of shit. And yeah, I'm also not recommending you to obviously, attack him and whatever, because you're not in a committed marriage like these two people out of the Wolf of Wall Street. You've only been seeing each other for a month. So I know this is going to sting, but he doesn't owe you anything. He's not your man. I don't think you have a title on it. I understand your feelings are validated and, it is offensive and it's not a great thing to do. But he doesn't owe you anything, okay? So you don't have any power or psychological leverage to sort of go against him now and say, how dare you say this and da-da-da. The context out of this message, I can hear that you probably already did so, that you probably asked him, what's happening here? You called me the wrong name. Then his response is, I was half asleep. In a text message, you're half asleep texting. You shouldn't be able to have a phone then. Do you know what I mean? Like, what if a person messages their boss half asleep? I quit. And then the next day they're like, oh shit. It doesn't. You have the conscious choices to make. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are not half asleep when you're on your phone and you're carrying out a task that considers or needs your conscious prefrontal cortex, your frontal lobe, to take action. Okay, so if a man is half asleep and they mumble a random woman's name, let him get away with it. He had a nightmare, whatever. Maybe he was dreaming of his ex. Also, who are we kidding? They're men. They're men. Like, whatever. If there's a pattern here, and this is your husband, and this is your partner, and he continuously mumbles this random woman's name, clearly there's an issue. But you've been together not really together, but seeing each other for a month, not a long time. He doesn't owe you anything. You can't really investigate further, or you don't even have a power dynamic here. You don't really have something you can use against him and really get full information from him. You can't even threaten him to leave him. Sorry, threaten him to leave him. Yeah, that's correct. Because you've only been together for a month. So, look, I think my honest answer is red flag. This man is making poor excuses. I almost feel he's a bit of a manipulator too, because to me it sounds very much like it's been on purpose. There's only two options that could have happened. He genuinely wasn't half asleep, but he wasn't fully consciously aware of making this text message. So he might have been a little drunk. He might have been horny. So he was thinking with something else other than his brain. And he sent this name of this random woman to you genuinely by accident. But that also proves he's clearly talking to other women on his phone, Option number 2, which is even worse, could be it's a manipulation tactic in order for you to get attached to him more. Because this is exactly what some men want. They want you to question yourself. They want you to question, why are you messaging me with a random name, like a wrong name? Like, where's it coming from? And every time in social interactions or dynamics with your boss, relationships, whatever, if you really have to question something after the interaction, like if it leaves you confused and you're genuinely like, what is going on? That person is most likely gaslighting, manipulating, or trying to pull some sort of strings with you, plant seeds in your mind. This is why it doesn't make sense. Like, if you really think about it, every single human interaction, I don't care if it's romantic, platonic, it's an exchange. It's a transaction. It doesn't always need to be of value. Like, it could be just a verbal exchange, but there is a transaction there. And if you think about the word like that, and You interact with people, there's a transaction being carried out, and then you leave that transaction, you leave with something. Whether it is like a story, an exchange of words, or laughter, happiness, a different state of energy, a different state of mind, wisdom. Hopefully from our transaction, you can get a lot of wisdom or happiness or entertainment, but you get from somebody, like from one person, from one opponent, one encounter in your life, you always get something in return. If you leave an interaction with somebody that is a transaction in a way, confused, and you feel off, and all of a sudden 2 weeks later you're still thinking about it in the shower, or when you're trying to fall asleep at 3 a.m, something was off with that interaction. The transaction was probably more so on their end. They got more value from you than you got from them. And that could just be in energy, that could just be in even money, it could even be in attachment, it could be in attention. So be careful which interactions with what person you leave feeling drained, because that tells you a lot about the person. I'm not at an age, okay, I'm 30. I just turned 30. I feel like I unlocked the hottest, the wisest version of myself. I love it. But for all the girlies under 30, get excited. It's like probably the best chapter yet. But I'm too old for that stuff. Like, I'm not putting up with that anymore. If a person confuses me, bye-bye. If a person leaves me drained and I'm just like, they're Debbie Downer, I don't want to hang out with them. They get so much more value from me because I'm excited about life. I have a very bright spirit. Like, I laugh. It's humorous. I feel like I bring entertainment to the room I'm going in. Like, I always see the positive in everything. If the person I'm interacting with, it could be anyone, not even somebody I'm close with, but in general, if they're very negative, they get more value from me than I do from them. So, arrivederci. Okay, let me check the live chat, ladies. I was trying to really stick to, somebody said, will this be recorded? Yes. I was trying to stick to a 1-hour live stream, but I'm such a talker that maybe we might go overtime, but I have dinner plans. So let's see. We also need to stick to sort of the time zone of this window section and the light, the sun, because as soon as the sun sets, there's literally no light. Okay, I'm like in a little village on an island in Croatia at the moment. That's what we have to deal with. By the way, I just also pinned the free trial to my AI clone. So basically we cloned my brain and all of my coaching materials, all of my wisdom, and we put it into a web app, which is the link in the bio or link below, and you can access it from there. Also, the team made somewhat of a mistake, okay? So we gave away a free trial of what was supposed to be only 5 messages. So everybody can trial the app for free, 5 messages, and then it locks. That's just my little gift to you to literally just interact with me and see if you like it. And by accident, we are giving away 25 messages. So that will change in the next 24 hours because clearly, it's like I'm giving away free value. If you're smart and you want to trial it before the team is changing it and you want to get literally 25 free interactions with my AI clone, you can click the link below and trial it. Okay, my loves. So let's get into some more questions. I hope the first question was cleared up. I would also love to see some more questions in the live chat. I just feel like my internet is not the greatest. So there's all these things that we still need to kind of work on. Okay. Let's go to the next question. How to politely reject someone who don't like you or is that you're not interested in. Are men really politely rejecting you when you're trying to be with them and they're not interested in you? Probably not. They don't care. They couldn't care less. So in a way, I feel like we as women need to be a little bit more like men in a way, and a little bit more confident when somebody's not into us. Be free to tell them, and not sort of be nice and kind and I feel so bad and blah blah blah. Save yourself the time. Save that person the time. It's probably the kindest thing you could do by telling them, look, I'm not interested in you. And I know I want to take your question serious. You can still be sweet about it and kind and feminine and soft and loving and caring and whatever, which, you don't have to. My first recommendation is to not do that. But the second recommendation is you can still be sweet about it and say, by starting off with maybe a compliment to that man's character and say, look, Greg, you're a great guy. I think I had a really lovely time with you, blah, blah, blah. But I wish you all the best. I don't really see a future with us happening, or, and then let him off easy. I think that's what I would do. I started a thing, a revolution actually. I need help preventing a riot. Seriously. Ooh, this is from a man. We're gonna skip that one because that's weird. I don't even know what that means. He started a revolution. Like, men are so funny. What does that even mean? How do you deal with locker room talk if you find out your man's friends engage in it about you? I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry at all. I think for us women, sometimes finding out your man, is talking behind your back about intimate things. It obviously depends on how intimate these topics are. It's labeled very quickly as negative. Where I almost would shift your mindset and say it's something good. Men will always talk like that. They do have that dirty mind, okay? They're wired a little bit differently. And I almost would say, and be careful, do not twist my words, but I would almost say it's somewhat of a compliment if a man is talking with his other guy friends about you. He is bragging. Probably. If he's a good guy and he respects you and he's other than that, like healthy, green flag, golden retriever man that loves you, chases after you. If he's talking about you behind your back with his guy friends and says she's so hot, she's so sexy, blah, blah, blah. That's just like, obviously, like these words are very promiscuous or whatever, but it's locker room talk. It's like how men talk behind your back. And if he treats you with respect in front of your face, it is fine. Obviously, there needs to be a thin line. If he talks behind your back negatively and he shares very vulnerable, intimate details about you or your sex life, then I would either set a boundary, or you can already sort of estimate and observe what type of man that is anyway in the first place, right? Like maybe that is just a very promiscuous man. Maybe he's not trustworthy. And maybe he doesn't respect you because why is he sharing such intimate details? So to really answer the question, I probably need a little bit more context. But overall, I would say, ladies, this is very important. This is also all about the whole unbothered mindset, right? Like, why are we so bothered? I don't care. Like, if a man or multiple men would talk about me behind my back negatively, even if it's in a dirty manner, I couldn't care less. To be honest, even if it would be in a negative way, like even if they would drag my name, I couldn't care less. I really couldn't care less, because I'm like, oh, I'm living rent-free in your mind. Keep going. Sure. Like, talk about me all you want. Also, think about it like this, because I really believe in energy and frequency and attention and this transactional exchange of energies in the universe. The more people have your name in their mouth, the more attention is on you, the more energy is on you. And of course, you could argue, well, if a lot of people gossip about you, but that's negative, then there's negative attention about you. But I don't believe in that. I believe in you being the phoenix rising from the ashes, as I always like to say, but also the alchemist. You can change energies and how it's perceived about you. It's your mindset. You're the creator, right? I've got the tattoo here, create. You're the creator of your life, and you can create your own identity and narrative. And if people talk about you, whether good or bad, they're talking about you. You have influence, like you have power, you have a lot of people's attention on you. That's not a bad thing. It's just very important that you transmute it into something good. Like, I literally shield myself. This sounds a little wee woo woo, but I know that a lot of people talk about me. Okay, sorry, this is the way it is. I literally shield myself with affirming affirmations that I literally pray, or I speak into the universe and I say, may everything or every single person that uses my name, every single time my name is spoken into the world, whether good or bad, may that come back to me in luck and success and money and beauty tenfold. So I literally put it out into the universe. And by me sort of shielding myself that way or adapting that mindset, I'm not really, I'm carefree about people talking about me, good or bad. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? Especially if men talk about you, it's probably even more powerful, because men are not talkers. They couldn't care less. Like, if a man really talks about you with other men, you have power over him. You really do. You really, really do. Because men couldn't care less. They're not like us women. They don't talk. They don't sit with their guy friends opening a bottle of wine or drinking a cocktail and then talking for 5 hours about their partner. Men are not really like that. So if men do that, right, once in a blue moon, and a man will really share about you as a woman, just know this man is obsessed with you. Just know you have a hook on this man, okay? Or maybe the breakup was really bad or whatever it was. But just know you have power over this man. Okay, next question. How do I deal with PISD? What's that? Especially when the guy has no remorse or guilt for cheating. I don't know what PISD means. Do we have time to Google it? Or shall we go to the next question? I think we should go to the next question. Do you use color theory for attraction or wealth? Do you think this is important? No, I don't really use color theory. People have recommended it to me. Almost under every second or third TikTok, people are like, oh my God, I think you're a spring. I think you're a summer. You should wear this color, blah, blah, blah. To me, honestly, I go shopping and I look at the colors of the shirts, the shoes, the clothes, whatever is in front of me on the rack. And then I think, what is the most beautiful color that I feel drawn to and that stands out? And what is the most beautiful fabric and texture that also stands out? Is it silk? Is it wool? Is it like a beautiful other sheer fabric? You know, like I like working with different fabrics. Like even look at this. I feel like, I don't know, I just like different textures. What is this called in English? I don't actually know. This is a very sheer fabric as well, but I love it. And I love just like with little bows and like working with it. And also jewelry, gold. I feel like I'm a gold person. I love pearls. I like whites. I like beiges. I like creams. Like that's like one part of my wardrobe, because honestly, like you always look richer and more put together if you wear light colors. Like that's just the way it is. Black absorbs light. Black absorbs energy. This is why even when you sit in black fabric in the sun, you sweat so much more. It's just, it pulls things towards you. But then at the same time, when you're walking through crowds, you sort of get absorbed in it yourself, like you drown. I want colors that make me feel the opposite. I don't want to drown in colors. I want to be like woken up, like lighten everyone's spirit when I walk into the room, because the colors are so beautiful. It's like nice to look at. And I think when you follow those type of styles as opposed to trends, and you know what colors look good on you, which doesn't cost you anything, by the way. You don't have to book like these $500 consultations where somebody has this weird white thing on you and then they go through all of these colors in front of you. You don't have to do that. You can literally go to Zara, H&M. It doesn't even need to be expensive. Okay, you can go to Target. A lot of people always make excuses. Oh my God, Anna, I don't have the money. Girl, I also had $10 to my name and slept in public parks. Okay, I also didn't always have money. So I taught all of this myself. So you can too. And you go into the shop and then you just look at the advice I've given you. So you look at all of the beautiful fabrics, but you also look at materials and you look at colors. Then you look at also the clothing fit, because ideally with clothes as a woman, they want to be fitted. You want something that hugs your figure. And if you have elements about you that you don't like too much, instead of like hiding them, bring out the elements or, I don't know, characteristics or features that you love about yourself, right? And this is how you look good. This is how you feel put together. This is how you feel confident. And when you look good and you feel confident, of course you're going to attract more wealth, okay? Because you walk into the room like you own the place and you're confident and you speak differently. You hold yourself differently. You walk with a straight spine. So of course things are going to come to you. But if you can't make an effort for yourself and your looks, and I feel sorry for everybody who still doesn't think that this doesn't play a role in this world, how are you going to be able to be disciplined enough to make money and start a business? Like if you can't even do the bare minimum of, and when it comes to beauty, really it's just hygiene and looking put together, right? Like it's not like I look very, I don't know, it's not like I look extremely rich or all done up or whatever, but I just put a little bit of makeup on, my nails are done, earrings on, hair slicked back, and a nice t-shirt or nice top. Like that's it. But that's all it takes. If you can't do that and the bare minimum of showing up for yourself and looking put together, how are you going to be able to have the discipline to also go to the gym? How are you going to have the discipline to actually build a business, to show up online, to become successful? How are you going to have the discipline of putting together a life that also attracts your dream partner? Do you know what I mean? Because it all goes hand in hand. Every single personality trait or characteristic that you exercise in one field of your psyche, of your personality, it is reflected in other areas too. So if you're very disciplined in your business, I'm pretty sure you will be disciplined with your personal routine too. If you're very strict in business and you say no and you're dominant and you set boundaries, I'm sure that is part of your psyche, your identity. I'm sure you're going to be also a person that can be very dominant and say no and have boundaries in real life, in friendships or relationships. However, if you're listening to this and you're a business owner and you're a woman that is a CEO and is very successful and makes a shit ton of money, it is very important for you specifically to know how to enter your feminine energy in your romantic relationship. Because if you're wearing your masculine energy in that hat of I'm the boss, which you have to in your business, that's what I do in my business. I'm the boss in my business. That's the way it is. But if you bring that to your man, it can really disrupt the relationship dynamic. There is a place and time, day and time. What do you say in English again? You know what I mean. There's like a certain time of day or place in your day where you can exercise your masculine energy more and really lean into it. And I personally love my masculine energy. I use it in the gym. I'm extremely competitive. I'm delusional to the point of I know I'm the best at everything I put my mind to. I learn extremely quickly. I'm very disciplined. I'm very relentless when it comes to my work. I look at a task, a responsibility, I get it done, and I know I'm probably going to exceed my actual goal. But if you bring that competitiveness and this I'm the best and a huge ego and the relentlessness and the control, if you bring all of these traits into personal relationships as a woman, you're perceived very masculine. You will attract very feminine people into your life that basically are used to you getting your hands dirty for them. You become the placeholder very quickly. It's a very ugly dynamic. So it's important for you to exercise your masculine outside of romantic and personal relationships. Bring it to the gym, bring it to competitive aspects in your life where it's needed, where you really need your masculine energy. Bring it to work, to your side hustles, to hobbies, to sports, right? But then bring your feminine aspect into your everyday life. And I think your feminine aspect should probably be 70% of your day or your routine and your life, and then your masculine 30%, because you naturally want to lead more with your feminine. Does that make sense? Like you need a good balance of the two. Okay, I don't know if my internet is just really bad, but I feel like my iPad is just constantly going in and out of everything. So I'm going to just stick to my recorded questions because I would love to do some live questions with you all as well. Why do men cheat? And after they are caught red-handed, they start to apologize and ask for a second chance. Because it's an ego play. They don't really apologize. They don't care. Do you know what I mean? So if they're caught red-handed, they obviously come crawling back. I mean, there's so many videos on TikTok as well where men are literally caught and they're crying and they're all of a sudden on their bed, on their knees, like begging to be taken back. And oh my God, and you're the love of my life. Blah, blah, blah. If they really meant what they said during the apology, they would have not cheated in the first place. Okay, it's an ego trip. It's also a test to see how quick you as a woman that has been cheated on by them, how quick you're going to take him back. It's an ego thing. So this is masculine energy, what I just spoken about. It's competitiveness, it's competition. So all of a sudden he thinks he's lost, right? Because cheating is also somewhat of a power play in a game. It can be really fun to men because it gives them dopamine. There's something hidden there. They feel like they're in a powerful position because they're hiding something from you and they're getting pleasure somewhere else. And all of a sudden they're getting caught. They feel like they lost the game. They're getting caught out, exposed. It's a hit to their ego in a way too. So now to soothe them, that hit to their ego, they apologize and they beg, but not because they love you and they regret what they did, but more so to soothe their broken ego that they've been caught out in the first place and sort of get that attachment from you back. Because all of a sudden, by you catching him cheating, you dissociated, you detached a little bit, right? Because obviously somebody being betrayed, the normal human reaction is to be hurt and say, I don't want to be with you anymore. Men know this. So all of a sudden I think, ooh, I'm losing the grip of power on her. I need to now back on my knees and get all, like all of these manipulations, tactics going so I can win her back. But really it's just to prove to myself, I'm the guy. That's how easy I can get her back. I never lost her in the first place. I'm just going to fake cry a little bit, be begging on my knees, say the right things, bring up some cute stories from the past. And here she comes jumping right on my lap again. I'm the guy. She would never leave me. So this is why it's so important, me sharing this with you. When a guy cheats, this is what going through his head when he apologizes. Do you see that you're an idiot when you take him back? Do you see what a privilege it is for you to soothe his ego? Because he's the one that's cheated but caught out. Don't ever give a man that privilege. Are you serious? Get your power back, say bye-bye. But I wouldn't even really flinch. I would do it in a way that you don't really care. I would, if it does hurt you, because obviously we're not robots, but if it does hurt you and you are very emotional about it, I would hide it a little bit. I would try to, and you know what, let's face it, you're probably smart about it. You know when the relationship is sort of like failing already. It's weird, he's behaving weird, he's not coming home on time, he's sort of like gaslighting and hiding things. Like, you're not stupid, right? You can see the patterns. So I feel like every single time you catch a cheater, it's not that surprising, I would say, right? Otherwise, if it's that surprising to you, maybe we need to learn more about human psychology and reading in between the lines, right? But usually it's not that so much of a surprise. So if you catch him cheating and you're really emotional about it, I would still hide my emotions. And when facing him and sort of acknowledging the whole situation, I would just do it very dry and just say, well, thank you for sharing. And I've done actually some answers to this in my last stream as well, where I said, literally just open the relationship or the marriage. If it's like a long-term thing and you're just completely shocked by him actually betraying you, I would open the relationship, I would open the marriage. At the same time, you could also admit that you maybe had some fun as well. If you want to be toxic and if you want to have a little step into his ego and you want to have a little revenge, you don't do it by actually going out and cheating. You do it by telling him, get into his head, use the power of psychology and tell him, you know what? I'm so glad you shared this with me. I felt horrible. And he's going to say, well, what do you mean you felt horrible? I'm just telling you that I cheated on you. What do you mean you feel horrible? Well, I also had some fun. I mean, there was a situation. I feel like we were stronger than that. I want to move past it and I plan on never telling you. But, yeah, I've done the same. But now that we're even, I'm glad that we finally spoke about this. I'm really, really glad that you trusted me so much sharing this with me. He's going to lose his shit. Because I've said this in the first live stream as well. It's much worse for men, and I know it's unfair, but for men, understanding that their women, their wives, have cheated, it is so much worse for, like, in their mind, because they're so territorial. And they also understand that when a woman cheats, it's out of a different intention. Like, for a woman to cheat, it takes usually, especially when she's committed and in love, it takes a lot more for her to, unless, she's just a cheater and has like the wrong morals. I'm talking about like healthy, somewhat healthy people. Like, for a woman to cheat, it usually takes a longer time and a lot of dissatisfaction and a lot of lost respect and a lot of lost emotional connection, especially emotional connection and respect. What men really need, an asset in relationships, men really need. So it's just a step to the ego, where I think we all know men are known as cheaters. Like, you know what I mean? It's not even really a surprise. So men really think with their down there, and sometimes they cheat on women they actually love. I've spoken about this before too. Like, some men literally have the most gorgeous woman, beautiful wife, married for years and children with her, and you know that they love that woman and respect her. And then one night drunk at the ski club with their work team, whatever, there's like this promiscuous lady. He's a little drunk. And I'm not making excuses for that, okay? I'm not making excuses for that. But I'm painting a picture for you why when men cheat, it can be a lot of times superficial. And it's more of a physical connection and maybe even lack of physical intimacy in the relationship or marriage. So they seek the physical transaction. Remember what I spoke about earlier? It's always transactional. They seek that from somebody else who's a stranger who they couldn't care less about other than their body. And for women, it's the entire opposite. When a woman cheats, it's rarely about, oh my God, as a woman, I'm not getting my sexual needs met in my marriage. I'm so horny. I don't know what to do with myself. My sexual intimacy is not met. I need to run to the next man that I see in the nightclub and jump in his lap. Like, that rarely happens. For women, it's more so, my husband is not giving me the emotional connection, or my husband isn't giving me the attention I deserve, or he's not serving me, he's not providing. I feel like I'm talking to a wall the entire time. I feel lonely in my own marriage. Oh, all of a sudden the gardener or the next door neighbor is so much more attentive to my needs emotionally. And then slowly over time, they lose more and more respect for their male partner, and they get more respect for their male friend. And then by accident, sometimes maybe that leads to cheating. But it's usually led with the intention of the females need to emotionally connect. And as a byproduct, it could lead to cheating or physical intimacy. But the first intention was more of emotional connection, understanding that they didn't get from their male partner. For men, the main intention, usually most of the time of cheating, is physical pleasure. They don't care about the emotions of the other woman or having that deep emotional connection with that woman. Do you know what I mean? That's what usually happens with strangers too. Or this is why men cheat on their wives also with escorts, because it's transactional for them. There's no love or whatever. If a man would fall in love with the woman they cheat with, he will leave the woman before. Does that make sense? If a man genuinely falls in love with the woman he's cheating with, the affair or whatever, he would try to find an exit from the previous relationship or the commitment he's in, because they follow their primal instinct to chase, to commit, to serve, to provide. And especially when a man has emotional feelings for a woman, he can go above and beyond. Trust me. All right. I hope this chat is loading now, because I don't know, I'm just going to keep it up in the background. Let's see what's happening with it. Next question. Okay, now it is loading. Hi, Anna, are you reading the chat? Yes, now I can. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. There's so many questions. Can I have some advice on something, please? Someone asked me how my Ikigai came to my fruition. I have no idea. My auntie gave me a book called Ikigai, and I read about it, and I think it's so beautiful. But to be honest, I've never really followed like my Ikigai. I kind of followed my I mean, it sounds so silly when I say I follow my dreams, but since I was young, I always had an idea of what my dream life should be like. I always had an idea of what I want to look like, how much money I want to earn, what type of relationship I want, what type of house I want, what type of car I drive, what my lifestyle is going to look like, the relationships I'm going to have, friendships, right? Like work, business. I had such a crystal clear vision of what I wanted and what I don't want, that in the process of living, and decisions being thrown at me and choices being have to made, I always made the right choices to lead me more to the vision I wanted to live. It's just a byproduct. That's literally what's going to happen to you as well. If you know exactly what you want, exactly what you don't want, you as a byproduct then make choices in your everyday life that will lead to one or the other. If you keep repeating habitual choices from the past that don't serve you, guess where you're going to end up? You're going to stay stuck in the past, and your life is not going to change. So you have to sometimes take a leap of faith, and you have to risk things in life. You have to jump ship. You have to sometimes quit the job. You sometimes have to leave that person. You sometimes have to book that flight. You sometimes just have to trust yourself more, and God or universe or whatever it is. You have to trust yourself and your goals and your dreams more than the current comfort you're stuck in. Okay. How to become more feminine with tattoos. Is it true that men don't like them? I think this is just a type thing. My question to this back to you is more so, or actually a reflection to you is this. You always want to date men that you fit into their perfect type category. If a man is into brunettes and you're the only blonde he's ever dated, to every single dinner date you're gonna go, as soon as the first brunette is gonna walk in, guess who will catch his eyes? It's just like an instinct, okay? Same goes for women, but women aren't as visual. But even you as a woman, I will tell you this. If you have a type and you date outside of your type, but then you're on a date with your not so much type, and your type walks in, you're going to look at your type. Does it make sense? Like, it's normal. So, and that is for us women. That's normal. So now we're talking about men who are even more visual, and for them, their type and the external layer of a person, their image, their beauty, their type, it is extremely important for attraction levels and also attachment and building connection for men, right? For women, not so much. You want to make sure you're that type, period. Like, that's very important. Girls, I'm so hot. I need to turn the aircon on. Yeah, cool. Okay. I'm on the front page. Woo! I'm so excited. Oh my God, I love it. Yes, but if we make him believe we cheated on him, I think it damages our image. Ooh, let me reflect on this. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because it's an eye for an eye. Well, If he's going to talk bad about you now and gossip and, drag your name because you cheated on him or whatever, he did too. And remember that you're in control of your own narrative too. So if you kind of catch some gossip about you that you cheated, you can still lie. You can still say, oh, no. You're in complete control of what you want other people to perceive about you. And if he tries to all of a sudden, this is making me angry. If he all of a sudden is trying to gaslight you into like, you're a bad person because you cheated and, like, I had no idea about it. Honey, so did you. Okay? So did you. It's an eye for an eye. So within, so without. Relationships are mirrors. You had a reason to cheat. I had a reason to. Let's close the chapter here, shall we? That's it. Like, you don't owe any explanation or whatever. If you wanted to, you could also be smarter in your wording and maybe not say that you cheated back, but you could say you had some fun or you did something, so you paint a gray zone, which is probably even more so a bit of a head fuck, a little bit more toxic. You could say that, back in the day, I'm so glad this came out because I really didn't know how to tell you this, but we had a situation. I mean, back in the day when I was in summer camp, blah, blah, whatever, insert wherever you were, or in that one party, and like, I had some fun too, or like this. Actually, no. You could even make it about the other guy. You could say this guy came up to me and like, I had no idea what happened, and he just like, all of a sudden he grabbed me, he could like, you could paint a whole scenario or picture. I would tailor this to the cheater in front of you. If that man who cheated on you genuinely is a bad guy, which he cheated, so he obviously is, but if he genuinely is a bad guy, he doesn't care about you, he's toxic, he will leave you in the dirt, run away with this girl that he cheated with, pay it back. Become toxic too. Confuse him a little. Tell him you cheated as well. Tell him you don't even remember. It's a little while ago. You had some fun. You didn't know how to tell him. What's going to happen? And please, no more of this, well, but that's not ethical. And he didn't act ethical too. You need to remember this as well. Every single interaction or transaction, relationship you have, you want to act ethical and with the right integrity and moral compass. You always go in, right, once you trust the person, once you trust them, and you let them in your heart, you're being honest and you're being genuine. As soon as you sense that the person in front of you, your opponent, is acting unethical, not genuine, and is playing games, you're going to play them better. You're going to go all in. I'm a master at this because I will give every single person I meet my genuine heart. Okay? Genuinely. And I don't judge. I carry my heart on my tongue. But as soon, and I'm very good at sensing this, otherwise I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing for a job. As soon as I sense there's competition or backhanded compliments or insecurities that are being projected, ooh, that's my favorite game to play. Because you really thought that I'm that dumb? I'm low-key offended when people like, throw a little stab or backhanded compliment or try to undermine my power or something. Because I'm like, do you think I don't see that? Do you know who I am? Do you know what I mean? Like, but be unbothered about it. Don't do it in a way that you get all dominant and now I need to prove them and I'm so hurt and now I'm going to show them how strong I am and I'm so much smarter than them. I'm going to pay them back. I'm going to seek revenge. You can seek revenge by simply understanding psychological power dynamics and playing with their mind while your own nervous system, your own mind is relaxed, unbothered, and calm. But by using the right words and languages or verbal attacks and tactics to sort of pay them back a little bit, right? Like by throwing them off a little, by also making comments that can't really be read, and by people not understanding your full intentions, or by you saying to a cheater that, you're glad that he admitted that he cheated because you also had some fun. Like, you gotta be smarter than just listening purely to your moral compass. Because if you're a good person, and trust me, I've been there when I was 14, 15, and the world came crashing down at me. When you're just a good person, purely in a very violent world, with very evil people and bad intentions and attacks all around you, you're going to get eaten alive. You can't win. And I posted a quote on Instagram the other day where I said, the only effective solution against violent and evil people are good people, genuine people, but more skilled in violence. You have to be able to become a monster and a very violently skilled person that understands dark psychology and basically has all of the tools and games and strategies right up her sleeve, especially as a woman, but then only use it when needed. That's the balance of the two. That's the dark feminine. That's the black cat, okay? Because if you're just out here to attack everyone and prove to everybody how strong you are and you're like mentally unbreakable and blah, 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 why do you need to tell everybody? Why are you so bothered? Clearly there's something you haven't healed from and you need to constantly project to everybody how strong you are. All right, let the wall down. Experience life. Life is a game. Let loose. Have some fun, you know? But then when there's an attack, an offense, whatever it is, you have the tools to not even protect yourself, but even go further and attack back and completely destroy the enemy totally. It's very important. It's not just to react and protect, like I said, but sometimes you have to literally diminish and deflect and completely get rid of the person altogether. Which that sounds like murder. Oh my God, excuse me. Okay. Next few questions. How do you overcome rejection in dating, your job, and life in general? I feel like I'm constantly behind and never get my moment compared to other people. The reason other people have a moment over you is because they probably settled for situations, jobs, and relationships that you would never settle for because you have a higher calling. That is my outlook on life, and I get rejected. Okay? I know 100% that when something doesn't work out for me, I thank God and I know something greater is coming for me. 100%. Do you know, I had so many jobs. I need to turn this off again. Now I'm cold. I had so many jobs, like minimum wages. I used to clean toilets. I used to be a dishwasher. And sometimes like I would work with only men, like very sort of physical demanding jobs as well. And usually people in these jobs were very cliquey. Like they were all hanging out on the weekends. They would all hang out together, have a smoke, like outside of the restaurant. And I was just like rocking up to do my shitty little dishwashing shift. Okay. And they probably didn't even look at me. But I also didn't really want to be associated with them because I never believed in like people at work being your best friends. Like, sorry, you know, they're just coworkers. That's it. That's a whole different category of persona and archetype you're dealing with. It's not your friends. So there's a different role they see about you. I was the dishwasher to them. I was a work colleague, but I wasn't of value to them, right? And so I remember always thinking about these situations, looking at them externally and thinking, you have settled for this job. I'm a dishwasher here. I'm probably beneath all of you, but I'm not going to settle for this. I'm not even going to try and make connections here. I'm not even going to try and kiss anybody's ass. I'm not going to try and connect with you after work for work drinks and pretend smiling in our faces. We're all such good friends. Well, I know you don't even care about me. And so usually the universe isolates you or secludes you because something great is coming for you. And funnily enough, look where I am today, in a much better position than washing dishes. How do I keep going and being mysterious even if I do have my hobbies, girlfriends, business, etc.? He is already used to me being like that. It does not surprise him. How do I keep being mysterious? Just remember that mystery doesn't always need to have something to do with how much is exposed, okay? So he probably knows everything about your hobbies, your girlfriends and businesses and everything, but mystery can also be about your emotional attachment to him. So for example, your energy around him. You don't always have to emotionally affirm to him how much you love him. You can also compliment him. It's your partner. You're committed in a healthy relationship. That's what I'm assuming. But you can compliment him in other ways. Like you can compliment him by telling him that you're proud of him. You could suggest new things to go to together as a couple or to do as a couple. You could switch up your makeup. You could switch up your hairstyle. You could switch up your dressing, your colors, right? You could start a new hobby as well. I mean, you said hobbies are already covered, girlfriends are already covered, business already covered. But as a person, you can always reinvent yourself, which is more so implementing different parts of your psyche into your personality. You do that through traveling. You unlock new perspectives about your life. And bringing that to a person as well, to a partner, for example, when you read more books or you study a certain topic that you're really passionate about, you can bring that into the relationship and there's a new part of you that is unlocked. Does that make sense? You can always, and I'm not telling you this to please men and like, look at me and like, I'm so fascinating, I'm so mysterious. I'm telling this for you. Like every 6 months for me personally, I'll look different. I almost dress different and my whole vibe changes. It's funny because I had a follower message me this today and she was like, you changed the whole vibe you're giving off. And I'm not doing this intentionally. Like, probably last year I had like long white hair and I was very much into the red colors and everything. And then I went another path because there were so many copycats who basically had the exact same look. And then, you never want to let them guess your next move. You always want to reinvent yourself. You always want to adapt. You always want to change. You always want to study yourself more. And it's almost like having an avatar, like your real life avatar, and you get to dress it and perform and entertain and show up every single day differently. But yeah, to keep the mystery, I think I would more so use psychological tactics to maintain mysterious, to maybe then not overly share so much about the girlfriends that you have, about the drama, about the gossip, about, any updates in the friendship group. I wouldn't share so much about the businesses. I wouldn't share so much about your hobbies. I would keep things a little bit more to me. And of course, he can see when you pack your bag and you go to the gym. He can see when you're interacting with your girlfriends. He can see that there's mystery and you're doing everything. But he will probably ask, and this is again verbal exchange. Like, verbal exchange is so underrated. People don't understand this, especially as women. Your tonality, everything, it really matters. And how much you say, and the pauses or the pace. This is all my mentorship, by the way. My mentorship is insane. It's the best product I've ever brought out. But it is a high ticket product, so it is a little bit more on the pricey side because it is an amazing investment into your entire personality and identity. It's like, I love it. And I talk about how you say no and set boundaries and use the pace of your voice. If you look at me right now, I'm somewhat in a masculine energy because I'm coaching, I'm leading, I'm answering, I'm controlling the conversation, I'm holding a certain energy. If I would be in a romantic setting, even my energy about my body would soften way more. I wouldn't talk so much with my hands either, right? I would probably lean. I would touch my face a lot more. I would use my eyes. I would have my face on an angle. I wouldn't be full on like this. So when it comes to mystery or seduction, feminine energy, this is quite masculine. I'm talking to you. I'm coaching. Think about softening, keeping things mysterious, slowing down your pace in your words, maybe even going a little bit higher, and becoming softer in the words you choose, using almost elegance, if that makes sense, and hinting at things, not really fully finishing the story, letting him read between the lines, talking about your feelings, how certain things make you feel. You can also become more mysterious and seductive, even talking about the past. Even though this man already knows what happened in the past, you can bring it back up and you can say, honey, do you remember that one date night? That one time and we were sitting by the lake and you were holding my hand and blah, blah, blah. And then paint pictures in your man's mind. Paint pictures. Seduce him mentally. Stimulate his brain. And telling about certain feelings you had or certain ideas. And soften, look at him, touch his neck, touch his leg. There's so much you can do. This is the most funnest part about being a woman. This is so much fun to me personally as well. Anyway, let's go back into the other questions. If you went on 2 to 3 dates with a guy and he texts saying he's not feeling things and ends it, do you respond or just leave it and not respond? Ooh. Me personally, I wouldn't respond because whatever. Bye. If you want to be nice and ask him if he has some hot guy friends, you can do that too, which is probably a little step to his ego. If you want to be a little toxic, you can say, thank you, Jonathan. I had a really nice time as well. Anyway, if you have any guy friends that you think are a great match, let me know. I broke up with him once in December and after a few months because I had a big loss in my family and he wasn't close to me, living him in his country. Okay, so you broke up with him after something happened in your family and he wasn't living too close to you. After I tried to go back with him, but he said he's scared I might leave him again. Do you think there is still a chance for us? Never try and get a man back, especially if you're the one that broke up with him. Never try and get a man back, because if you play your cards right and they love you enough, they will come back anyway. Okay, I think every single one of us knows their ex always come back. The exes always come back, but only if you move on and you almost play smart in a way that you pretend to be friends after, but very detached. Like you post, you're successful, you're happy. There's no drama, there's no crying, there's no talking about the past. All of that, we're adults here. We're not doing any of that anymore. Okay, that needs to stop immediately. So you're gonna just move on with your life, and then the text messages and keeping in contact with an ex and your ex-man is gonna be very sporadic because you're not together anymore. You don't owe him anything, he doesn't owe you anything. But you maybe randomly call him, or you maybe randomly message him and say, hey, I was just thinking of you. It's your granny's birthday. Like, how's she going? Or like, oh, actually, you left your sock at my place. Like, whatever. Like, it needs to be somewhat detached. It needs to be somewhat casual. Okay. And I would try to keep somewhat of a friendship level and pretend like you're no longer interested in him romantically at all. It's going to trigger his ego. He will think, so I'm good enough to be friends with, but I'm not good enough as her partner anymore. That pisses me off. Okay, he's a man. He probably doesn't want to be friends with you. He probably wants only one thing. If he likes you and there's enough respect and maybe chase and attraction there, he will be the one initiating to come back anyway. As soon as you ask a man to come back, or like, let's try again, his ego and the chase and the neurotransmitters in his little brain, which is testosterone, dopamine, serotonin, vasopressin, all of these hormones that are being poured out for men to bond with you chemically, they're somewhat suppressed because you're not a reward to him. You're not the challenge anymore. You're not igniting any sort of chase for him to want to come back to you. You're right there after you've broken up with him. So now his ego is soothed. Now his ego is like, oh, that's all I actually wanted. I was just wounded and annoyed that she broke up with me and she asserted her power in the attachment hierarchy. She's detached. She clearly doesn't want me. Oh, I'm so sad. My ego's broken, but now she wants me back. Okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? There's no more problem to solve. There's no more chase. To keep it interesting and for him to serve and chase and come after you again, you want him initiating that conversation. You want him initiating, saying, hey, let's try again. And if he does, I would maybe even push back a little bit in the beginning. I would even maybe push back a little bit. Try to make him attached to you first. Always work with psychology. Always make your feminine essence, even your sexual intimate energy, make it your resource and leverage, and lead with that. Know how to obviously protect it and not give it away, but I mean lead with your feminine essence. Seduce mentally, seduce, so then he can chase. If you become the man and you say, I want you back, let's try again, that's not going to be received well because you can't beat him with his own weapons. Does it make sense? You got to beat him as the feminine version of you that he can become weak for. Would love to hear more about reinventing yourself. Maybe future podcast episode. Maybe also what you do in detail. Ooh. I feel like life for me personally is just an upward spiral. So even when I go backwards, I constantly think this is going to get better. Because I come from nothing. And when I was really, really broken back in the day, I just always, like, first of all, I got myself out of that completely by myself. And knowing that now, I just know when I experience hardships now, nothing can ever get as bad as it used to be when I was like a teenager and I ran away from home and I was literally in a mental hospital. Like nothing will ever scrape the surfaces of that depth, of that type of pain. Do you know what I mean? So I learned from it. I know what I'm capable of, and therefore every single time I look at something that is a challenge in my life, I think about it as a lesson that will further improve my life overall in the long term. But it comes down to the right mindset, because if you think, poor me, victim mentality, this is so bad, blah, 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 you can't learn, you can't level up. You can see this, by the way, by just observing certain people. And this is why I always want to be the person that talks her talk and walks her walk. Because if you go into my profile and you scroll down, you can see it. You can see how I become healthier, wealthier, wiser, better in front of the camera. This is what you want to do with yourself too. How can I improve? Just ask yourself every day, how can I improve? And sometimes the 1% change that you implement every single day by reading 10 pages of a book, maybe doing your eyebrows differently, maybe changing up your style, and then adding to that, all of a sudden, fast forward 6 months in, you look like a completely different person. And sometimes you would be surprised, a little bit of weight loss, going to the gym, building some muscle. You know, I built my glutes, okay? I built like for 6 months, I was like, I want a peachy booty. So I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to lift heavy. Before that, I only did Pilates and everything. So now I'm more in my gym girl era and I love it. Like, but it just unlocks like a different part of your character again, because the gym, for example, is very challenging. Like lifting weights is not fun. I mean, it is fun. I love it. But being in the process of it and doing the last 10, 12 reps of like a really heavy set, it is challenging. But then you almost are confronted with new versions of yourself. Like in the moment, for example, when I lift heavy weights and I'm struggling, I know that my inner self-talk telling myself you can drop the weight any second. No one's holding you back. But that inner competitiveness, the version of myself that I want to be in the future, which is stronger, way stronger and way healthier, is like in that present moment, I hear her and she says, push, you can do it. Push, push, push. Because every single time when it's that split second of a moment where I don't know how to explain it to you. It's a feeling for me, you know, like every single time when you're challenged to the point of almost hitting that threshold of pain and stress, when you can regulate yourself right then and there and pull yourself back into your grounded energy and almost acknowledge what has happened, what is going on, your circumstances, and your next moves, you can sort of plan accordingly. If you get too lost purely in the emotion and you don't understand that the emotion is a good thing, right? Like even with business, I've been through absolute hell with business over the last 6 months. Absolute hell, because I trusted the wrong people. It's a whole shebang. It is actually somebody very famous. A lot of people know, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut until the time is right because I'm calculated, okay? One day I'm going to share the full story. But right now I'm unbothered and I don't care and life goes on. But with business, the last 6 months, there were moments where I was just like, a year ago, younger Anna, young entrepreneur Anna would have never imagined that it gets to this level of stress or this threshold of pain or this threshold of responsibility ever. So you always unlock all of a sudden a new version of yourself, right? So now I'm coming out of the other side of it and I'm like, wow, I did that. And this is why you get so confident. This is how you get confident overall. If you can pull yourself out of the deepest, darkest hellholes yourself without any other help, that's how you become confident. Like a lot of your advantages and benefits and the confidence and self-worth and all of the beautiful things we want to feel, we all just want to feel good about ourselves. All of that is actually based on your disadvantages in the past. Because if you overcome your struggles and your hardships, it's a type of confidence and self-worth that is unlocked that no color lipstick, no boyfriend, no daddy's money or external circumstances can ever give you, because your confidence is rooted within you. And this is why I'm confident. This is why I'm so crazy confident and delusional. Because people always look at me like, how are you so confident? Like, what did you do? Did you do some training? Like, what books did you read? And I'm just like, life, baby, life. I was on rock bottom and now I'm here. Do you know who did that? Me, this person. Because I always loved my future self so much. Like when I was at rock bottom, I always felt like, Anna, please listen. Like I have your back. Like I can't even get too deep into this because I literally get teary-eyed. But you need to make a promise to yourself that you are your own best friend. You're going to pull yourself out of whatever you're facing. And this is how you become better. I never broke that commitment to myself. The relationship I have with myself is extremely strong and probably the most important relationship I will protect forever. And that also goes for your integrity, by the way. So if somebody challenges your confidence or self-worth or even your values or your integrity, they're not your person, right? Anyway, so much going on, so much happening. Anna, how do you deal with women who are jealous of you? Please. Some of them are close to me and some of them not so close. I want to be friendly with them, but I feel like I'm having to dim my own light because of these people. Like I feel bad sharing Instagram stories of my own life because of these women. Rub it in. Post all of the stories. Post whatever you want. Look good. Level up. Make more money. Become more successful. And let that be like the biggest fuck you to their faces. Because they're not really your friends. I personally, as soon as I detect like hidden animosity, jealousy, I don't want that person in my life. You're not a friend to me. You're out here to get me. As soon as you've copied me and basically stole my entire identity and destiny swapped, you then eliminate me. So it's only a matter of time for me to get rid of you before you get rid of me. Jealous women are very dangerous and you have to stay away from them. And if you cannot stay away from them, you kind of have two options only. You only have two options. There's no other way around this. Number one, you have to stay unbothered and you pretend like you don't see it. This is what I would recommend for workplaces. I would just level up, focus on yourself. This is what I always did in workforces with my ex-coworkers because I was like, I don't care. my final destination is not here. My current situation with you guys at this shit job where I'm treated like absolute shit with minimum wages and all of you gossiping about me, that's not going to be my future. So I really don't care. Talk about me all you want, be jealous, be insecure, be hateful, spiteful, I don't care. So that's that. Let it go over your head. Fuguzi Fugazi. If it's your friend, I would pretend probably by observing their comments or how they interact with you, I would pretend that I don't notice it. And then if it becomes a pattern, you gotta hit it right on the head and expose it. And I would do this in private so you don't look like a crazy person. Otherwise, other people can quickly push you into a corner or narrative of you being the bully or the bad person. So in private, I would isolate the person and say, it seems like we have a problem. Oh my God, no, what do you mean? Da, da, da. Well, like it happened 3 times now that you pointed out X, Y, Z. And clearly there's something that is triggering you. There's some sort of a problem here. And I would really like to talk about it because I don't have a problem with you. It seems like one-sided beef. And if we can't come to a resolution here, I don't feel like we're actual friends. There's no genuine friendship here. They will probably lie and deflect it, but because who likes to admit that they're insecure? Who likes to admit that they're jealous? Do you know what I mean? You can also play a long-term game, but this is in my courses. I'm going to teach you in my mentorship and in my courses how to deal with jealousy and insecure people around you in the long term. But for now, these are the 2 options I will give you. Okay. More questions. What advice would you give me? I'm struggling to manage my days. I'm starting my business, but I feel overwhelmed. I'm not seeing any results. It's so hard. Okay, I need more context because what do you mean by I'm struggling to manage my days? Do you not have enough time? Do you have too much on your plate? Do you feel overwhelmed by what you're doing? Is it emotional overwhelm? Is there maybe also a toxic relationship in the background? Like what's going on? Okay. I think regardless of the questions I've just given you to reflect on, I would make a list of all the tasks that need to be done every single day. Use AI for this. You can also use my AI clone. It is tagged below. Actually, is it tagged? I don't even know. Let me tag it below again. Oh no, it is pinned. Use AI and basically structure your day on the most important tasks and responsibilities that probably annoy you the most and try to get rid of them straight away. Like the biggest thing that is most uncomfortable, especially when you start a business, like the things that take you the longest, that are the most annoying, that you don't really want to deal with, do it straight away in the morning. Do it when you're caffeinated, do it when you have energy. Get it out of your way, and then try to schedule all of the other not so important tasks around that or after that. I will say, and this is more so coming from a girlfriend perspective, okay? Everything I said before was a mentor. When I started my business, the first 3, maybe even 6 months, it was very unhealthy because I didn't go to the gym. I didn't have time for my girlfriends, my relationship. All I did was every single day put my full attention. Obviously, sometimes I would eat, but sometimes I would forget to eat. And then sometimes, because I haven't eaten all day, I would eat burgers and pizza in the evening because it would give me some energy. So I gained a little bit of weight. I didn't feel my best. You can see it on I don't hide anything. Everybody can see my full evolution of Anna Kristina and her identity online, okay? I don't share about my life. I really share about my life. But you can, as an observer, if you're smart and you understand psychology and self-development and also how looks and the inner world work together. I can always see if somebody's happy or not. I can always see if somebody gained weight because of maybe suppressed emotions or stress. Anyway, so if you're smart about it, you can literally see the transformation I've been through, because when I first started my business, I was all in on my business. And that's why it grew so quickly. I grew 100,000 followers on TikTok every single month. Then the Black Hat Theo went viral. Then it was all over the news. It was all strategic. I knew exactly what I was doing. And I went all in and I loved it. So the reason I'm being so point blank honest with you is because I need to rub in how difficult it is when you first start off building your business, how delusional you have to be and how hyper focused you have to be, going in, all in, and fully commit to this project. That's what I did, and look where we are today, okay? So once you basically have your business off the ground, And I wish I could tell you it's easy. And I wish I could tell you, well, make yourself a matcha smoothie and take your time, sit on your laptop, and then, you just work a few hours per day and you're digital nomad, you can work from wherever you want, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to be the truth. If you want to build a successful business that gives you good income that you can live from, it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to sacrifice other pillars of your life, all part of my mentorship, all part of my AI clone, by the way. I know I've said it multiple times, but it's important for you to realize. I've got full coaching on this. My coaching is different to obviously my free content, by the way. But you have 5 pillars every single person has in their life. I name it the Black Cat pillars, which is mental, financial, emotional, spiritual, physical. And all of these pillars, again, part of my mentorship in much more detail, I'm going to superficially touch on this. They make up your Black Cat energy, your well-being. Sometimes you have to purposely, neglect some of these pillars. So if you're going all in on your financial pillar, you might have to sacrifice your social pillar, your emotional pillar. Your emotional well-being might not be the best because you don't have balance at all. Maybe your physical pillar, maybe you don't eat so well, maybe you don't sleep so well, maybe you don't go to the gym, right? Maybe your mental pillar and your financial pillar are the only 2 pillars you're currently focused on. As long as you know that you're doing this strategically and there's an end point to that period of time, you can then return to rebuilding these 5 pillars. So you can say, I sacrificed my social pillar, my friends, my social settings, my circumstance, my family. I don't have contact with anybody because all I do is talk to my followers. I sacrificed my physical pillar. I'm not going to the gym. I'm eating like shit. I'm not sleeping well because all I do is build my business. Okay, after 3-6 months of slowly generating money, getting followers, understanding how to build everything, and it's slowly working, you return to your 5-pillar system and that ecosystem, and you rebuild these pillars from scratch. And then you might find balance again. As long as you do this in a calculated way, you win. But some people don't have this understanding. This is why they need to be part of my mentorship. Ding, ding, ding. Because some people get just stuck and they're hyper-focused on their business and they don't understand this ecosystem of their 5 Black Cat pillars. And then they're all of a sudden stuck in building their business for 10 years and they neglect their entire life. So for me, I purposely like to balance my 5 pillars while at the same time leaning into one a little more. For example, right now, my social and physical pillars are very strong. I just celebrated my 30th. Like, I'm in contact with my family and best friends. They flew in from all over the world. Like, I had a really nice social gathering. And then also my physical pillar is very strong because I'm on holidays. I drink every day. Like, I'm drinking, a few glasses of wine every single day. But I'm still working out. I'm swimming every day. I'm snorkeling. I'm diving. I'm sitting in the sun. I'm so healthy. So remember, when you understand this 5-pillar system, this is how you can structure your overall lifestyle, but also, your mindset when you sometimes are building a business or committing to a new relationship even. Like in a relationship, your 5 pillars need to be intact. If they're not, these 5 pillars become projected onto your partner. So all of a sudden, his social pillar becomes yours. His friends become yours. His financial pillar becomes yours because he's paying for everything. You don't have your own money because you gave up your job. His mental pillar, which is his hobbies, his mental clutter, becomes yours. His physical pillar, him going to the gym, his physical attachment becomes yours, right? So emotional pillar as well. His mental well-being, emotional well-being, him emotionally affirming to you that he loves you is your emotional pillar. This is a breakdown of what you get in my coaching. You don't understand how much of my heart and soul and wisdom I've poured into my courses. It's very different to my free content. I know most of you know me from TikTok or YouTube or Twitch or podcasting, but the coaching programs are very different because I teach you an actual system. Not like other dating coaches, not to shame or blame anyone, right? But I give you an actual system that works. Okay, back to the chat. I feel like his ex was much more fun than me. How do you know? Men always say that. I don't compare myself to her, but I want to become more fun with him because of myself. I feel like my unbotheredness makes me a bit boring. What does unbotheredness mean? So many women misunderstand unbotheredness. Unbotheredness does not mean that you're rude or boring and you're just cold and you're icy. Just remember, when I make short form content and I say these trigger words, it's obviously to get your attention because I need people to listen to me. I only have my platform since like 1.5, 2 years. So I need to be very extreme with my wording for people to listen to me. but I don't mean it as black and white. I need people to sometimes read between the lines of my words or listen to long form and stuff like this. Because being unbothered genuinely means you're happy. It means you're happy. Like, you don't care. You have a smile on your face, you're feminine, you go about your day. You couldn't care less. You're happy-go-lucky. That's what unbothered means. Unbothered doesn't mean becoming cold and distant, because that is cold and distant. Unbotheredness genuinely means that you're carefree. What does carefree look like? Like, envision a person that looks carefree to you. Does she look bitter? No, she looks happy. So unbotheredness is about being fun. So instead of answering your question, I will tell you it's more important for you to reconsider your state of unbotheredness. Why are you clinging to that so much? And why do you associate unbotheredness with being maybe colder? Purple Cake is saying, hello everyone. Hello, hello, hello. This is so much fun. I love it, my little community. I need to take a sip. Okay. Like, I have begged, requested him not to like certain women's pics, yet he does it. He cares more about impressing her and hurts me. I usually would cry and fight with him, and this time I didn't even bother. He's feeling restless now as to why I'm not reacting. Well, that's a plus. Should I continue doing this? Because I've done everything wrong. I was a golden retriever. Okay, well, girl. Clearly this man is a red flag. He likes other women's photos continuously. There's a pattern here. He keeps his options open. He's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You communicated your boundaries, probably in a golden retriever way, but that's okay. Okay. It's just you've spoken with your feelings. There wasn't really a strategy there, but that's fine. You stated your boundaries, you stated your feelings, and nothing really has changed. You won the ego game and the ego play now because, like you said, you're becoming a little bit more unbothered and you don't really care and you're done arguing because you're above him. So now he's a little bit irritated that all of a sudden he doesn't get the attention from you anymore. So I would maybe keep going a little bit more with this and see what happens, because maybe he was genuinely just insecure and young and selfish and whatever, and he wanted your attention, which I don't think that's the case. But if I was you, I would probably leave him. I'm sorry, I'm not the one to determine destinies on here, okay? I'm not a matchmaker, so I'm very careful with how I say this. But if I was in your shoes, that's what I would do. Because for me, if there's a fine line, okay, let me reword this quickly. There's a fine line between a man sometimes liking another woman's photo. Because they're like friends of a friend, whatever. And following certain models. Sometimes, every now and then, because they're pretty looking. If it becomes this genuine pattern of this dude constantly liking other girls' photos and commenting and following all of these other women, while at the same time not treating you right, that is your answer. He's on the lookout for another one. And as soon as somebody better comes along that he values as better, he might ditch you. So I would just be smart and ditch him before he ditches you. You know what I mean? Like, that would just be me. But then, and this is not so much something I would agree with, but another strategy I can give you is if this man pays for everything, he gives you a very good lifestyle, he's a very good man outside of this, he loves you, he's obsessed with you, whatever. There's so many attributes and benefits and positive elements about this relationship with him that you're genuinely above his promiscuous games and photo liking with other women. Then carry on. Don't worry about it. But it takes a strong woman to detach like that and say, eyes on the prize. I'm getting my Hermes Birkin. I'm getting holidays. I'm getting this and that. I don't care. He looks at other women, but that's just unfortunately something that comes with him as a personality. And that's that. Okay? All right, my love. It's probably better not to have a boyfriend while you're building a business if you're fully focused on it. I think your boyfriend should be able to support you building a business. You know? And I also believe that if a man loves you and you're building your business, he can wait, okay? It's probably even better. It's probably going to give him more of a chase element because it's going to make him respect you too. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Oops, I dropped my iPad pen. But we're going to leave him down there because otherwise it'll literally disappear from the screen. All right, my loves. I feel like we should be going, oh my God, we're already live for so long. We should be going into the actual relationship reviews. I've done it last time. I want to see how everybody feels about this, okay? Because this is also new to me. And I don't know how we feel about this on other platforms. I don't know if you like this. So I'm just gonna get started, and we can see, wait, hold on. I'm still new to this, okay? Don't come for me. So I want to talk with you about, wait, can you see the screen? Why is it not changing? Okay. We have a technical problem. If I play this,
Lily, to take over the stream.
Yeah, it's stuck. Okay. Sorry, girls. We need to quickly redo this. I don't know why it's not loading. Maybe in the chat, can you tell me if you can see the screen like...
While, and she did this.
Okay, so I just pressed play on the video and it is playing for me, but it looks like it's not playing for you. Could you tell me in the chat if you can see this? Is the video playing for you? Because I really want to review this relationship drama with you. Okay, everyone's saying you can see the screen. That is so strange, but why is it not playing? Is the video playing for you though? Why do I look better in this little square image? I feel like I look better in the square than on the full screen. Okay, it's not playing. Okay. Then we're going to switch over one more time and we're going to try one more time. We're going to go YouTube. We're going to attach the right link. And we should be able to do so. Okay, ladies, it's not working. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to stick to here. It's my second stream, do not come for me. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly tell you though, because I would like for you to research this in your own time, or give me feedback for everybody also watching this on the recorded version or in the comments or whatever. I would love for you to give me feedback if you do like the live relationship analysis on video, because I like doing it. It's new to me. I usually do it on my TikToks where I've got the green screen. I'm like, this relationship here, and then here's the lesson here, and then everybody can ask questions and comments, and it's super fun. This is different because it's live, and it would be even better because I can have my face in the corner and then like the video playing over there. But basically, in summary, the clavicular looks maxing guy, he's also a streamer. He's known on Kick, Twitch, TikTok, millions of followers. He's basically all about kind of like what I do as well, but like for men, and how to look better, how to improve themselves, like almost to a level that can be dangerous and labeled controversial and whatever. Look, with anything in life, even when it comes to controversial personalities online or anything that's like discussed in the media and labeled as good or bad, I'm unbothered about it. I really don't care. Like if you have a strong opinion about somebody and you like to the point where you get overly emotional, I just always think, what's the deeper underlying issue? So anyway, I just wanted to add that because the media labels him as not so great, toxic, all of it. I don't really care. I'm just going to look into the relationship dynamic he has as a famous person so you can review it, because he's currently going viral on TikTok with the breakup with his girlfriend. And there's visuals that are also very viral online too, where he manipulates her and gaslights her. I think outside, before I quickly go into this relationship analysis, because I don't like talking about other people, it is very different for me in short-term videos on TikTok to state certain things in like a 60-second video versus analyzing deep psychology behind people. I don't gossip. I hate it. I hate when people bring drama to me. I don't like that. This is a position where I feel like this is my business. This is what I do. It's content, it's entertainment, and it's a fine line between dragging someone versus genuinely observing two people and their psychology in a way that we can learn from it. And so this is very important for me to say as a little warning, because I always tell you to not gossip. I deeply believe in it, so I'm going to hold myself to it, okay? So everything I'm going to say is without me either liking them or not liking them. It's an observation. I think they're under 20 years old, like they're quite young, but very famous, lots of money. He has multiple nightclubs in the US as well. And he's hooking up with other women on camera all the time. But unfortunately, they're together, like they're literally together. And I would love to show you this video because it's so good to see. I literally have it playing in the background, but I don't know why it doesn't play for you. I'm going to try one last time. And there's a video going viral where basically he breaks up with her live on stream and she's begging him to take her back. Take her back. And it is really sad to see because this girl that he's dating is gorgeous. And this is all live on camera as well. She's really, really young. She's probably head over heels, first love. For her, out of her younger perspective, you could argue this is a great guy, right? Like he's handsome, he's successful, there's a lot of status there, there's a lot of power there. There's so many attributes or resources of fame, money, power that can trigger an extreme attraction to him as an individual. And so she's really attached to him. I do believe that he likes her too, maybe even in the beginning loved or had some lasting attraction for her. They quickly moved in together. He offered her to pay for everything and move in with him. But the attachment more so grew from her side to him rather than the other way around. And I believe it started because he was hooking up with other women publicly, basically always on Twitch, always on his streams, going to nightclubs, kissing other women, having like threesomes and everything in the same house while she's there, and her being okay with it. And there's videos going on online viral where she literally says, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with you hooking up with other women. When you say that as a woman, a man will immediately lose respect for you. Because men know that this is the number one thing women sort of have a no-go deal breaker thing with. You know, like women are normally in a man's mind very jealous of each other, competitive. And when a man's lust is sort of sparked with another woman and their partner feels it, that's one of the biggest problems, right? I mean, I get so many questions every day. He's like another woman's photo, da da da. Men know this. So when a woman goes out of her way to encourage and reaffirm, hey, you can sleep with other women, no worries, the man really loses respect for you if he wasn't fully committed. Sometimes this can also be psychological game, not in their case though. Sometimes this can also be psychological game where you flip the power dynamic again. When he truly loves you, messed up, and you say, look, you can sleep with whoever you want, but I will too then. We can open the relationship. You know, that's different. That's very different. In their case, they're so young. He publicly hooks up with other women, and then she reaffirms, that's fine, I stay with you no matter what. And so as soon as you do that, you lose all your power as a woman. Everything you have, she has zero leverage. She's a young girl, she's beautiful, but she moved in with him. He probably pays for everything. He still sleeps with other women. And like I said earlier, there was a very similar specific scenario coming up that was quite similar, where somebody asked me the same question about a scenario like this. You can be a very strong-willed woman and be okay with that, but then you can't complain about it afterwards. You can't genuinely be jealous, and you just gotta reap the rewards and say, I've got a roof over my head, I'm getting a platform, I'm just gonna look the other side. But Lily, his girlfriend, I believe still wants the girlfriend benefits, right? Like the cuddles, the intimacy, holding hands, also having the title of like, well, you know, he can hook up with anybody, but I'm the girlfriend. Lots of women cling to that. Lots of women cling to a title, to a ring, to a marriage certificate, living under one roof together, but it's no proof for anything. There's a lot of women that are married and miserable. There's a lot of women that are married and get cheated on. So don't cling to a title, cling to how he treats you. And so anyway, long story short, because I've got dinner plans, I gotta go soon, but long story short, I always observe the relationship. I would love to make this a case study. I'm going to have to double check what's going on with the settings and why I can't share the screen, why it's not working. At some point, leave me comments as well, leave the chat open. I would love to review it live with you, show you in-person examples. We can also do other relationships. We can do Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, because their relationship has changed too. Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber, all of that as well. Oh, Lara said, I love your stream. I love that. I love it. I love doing it too. I really love it. Okay, so long story short, he broke up with her live on stream. She crumbles, cries, and he literally is like completely dismissed and stands there like this, doesn't want to touch her. And she's like, no, but I love you, And she's crying. Watching that broke my heart, because I wish I was in the room with them and say, girl, get up. Girl, get up. We're going to go out. We're going to have to do a little coaching session here, okay? You need some Anna Kristina coaching one-on-one. Lily, if you're watching this, I'm still up for an offer. I can still give you literally a free coaching session, because, girl, we got to change something here. And before I go more into this, because I could speak about this for another hour, but I don't have the visuals now, look it up in your own time, Clev and Lily breakup. There's also parts about him, the way he speaks and reacts or manipulates and gaslights, that are sort of textbook strategies some men will use on you, and if you're not aware of them, and I don't think she is, they will be used on you and they will work. So I would have loved to show you this live so we can decode them together. But you know what? Maybe this is a good teaser and a good marketing for a little stream here for everybody to tune in next week so we can then actually decode all of it together. All right, my loves. When do you usually go live? So I can be ready. I usually go live every Wednesday. This is my second stream. I'm traveling so much, so I'm really bad with committing to a time at the moment. I would try schedule it on my actual channel so you can see it. But every Wednesday I'm going live. And right now I want to stick to morning times in Europe. So it's evening times in America and Australia. This is quite late for me. I don't know if you guys like this time. I can stick to either 5 or 6 p.m. European time or like 9 a.m. European time. It's either early morning or evening. Everyone's like, well, great, Anna. We don't know what that means. Okay, stick with me every Wednesday. If you can't make it live, that's fine as well. You can watch the recorded version, but I think live is so much more fun. I love talking to you personally. And yeah, is there anything else I need to add? Okay, someone said this time works really well. Thanks, Anna. Okay, that's amazing. Anna, as a black cat, do you ever plan a date with your boyfriend? My boyfriend has been complaining that he's the only one planning dates. We're 8 months in, but he automatically assumed that I will be free on the weekends. Yes, I would plan a date. I like to give hints, and I love to maybe send beautiful like screenshots of restaurants and say, this is such a beautiful place. Why don't we go here? I heard the food is amazing. Like, always plant seeds. Sort of, just remember, with feminine energy and seductive energy, you paint a picture. If you say, I would love to put on this beautiful dress for you and go to this beautiful place that has the most gorgeous red wine, and I'm going to bring my handbag, and I'm going to da-da-da, like almost make him see what it would look like being on a date with you. It's like, it's sales. You know, I love sales and marketing. So I feel like maybe that's why I like seduction. But you're selling them a vision, and the vision is you. So paint a picture in his mind of, why don't we go to this beautiful place around this and this time? You can suggest, always suggest, seduce, and then let him carry it out and book it, you know. But you know what? You're 8 months in. Like, if you're official and you have a title and all of that, maybe it's nice for you to be like, hey, I booked us a little surprise, you know. It's the same like with paying and stuff as well. Like, sometimes I say you usually want to do 70-30 split. Not the bill, that's not what I'm saying, but overall living together expenses, the man should carry like 70 to 80%, the woman 30 to 20. And then also, depending on household duties, that's also another give or take on the percentage split, if that makes sense. Someone said, you suggested me to leave him from my earlier question, but actually he's my husband and we are in a marriage. It is my second marriage. Okay, obviously do not leave him. If you can't, especially if you can't, because I know not everybody's in a privileged position. But girl, then it's even worse that he's still out there scrolling and looking at other women, you know. But okay, if you are not in the privileged position to be able to leave him, I would continue what you've been doing so far. What you said works, right? You're not giving him all of the attention, all of the validation, all of the jealousy. Continue to be unbothered. Continue to pretend like you don't even see it. And try to also make him jealous a little bit by trying to reignite maybe the spark again for him to also realize he could lose you. You could leave him. Like, there needs to be a fear of, if he doesn't act right, he will lose you. And to instill a fear like that in a man, there's different strategies and tactics that are all in my courses as well. But we can also talk about it a little bit in the next stream. Okay? My loves, thank you so much for your time today. This was so much fun. I promise next time is going to be even better. Please follow me on Instagram and submit all of your questions on Instagram. Please, 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 please. Because I don't always see it on here. I don't always see it on my emails. Like, there's so many full inboxes. On Instagram is the best because I do check my DMs. Emails, sometimes it gets lost. On here, sometimes it gets lost. But yeah, submit your questions. And is there anything else I need to say? If you want to claim your 25 free messages on my app before they go down to 5 messages, click the link below. I pinned it in the chat as well. And I think that's it. Yeah. If you want any information on coaching, work with me one-on-one, I think I have still some spots available end of September. You can click the link below or in my bio as well for my Stand store. You can book one-on-one sessions with me. You can get mentored by me. I've got mini courses. I've got also my Black Hat texting script where you can literally buy a course. It's like $10, $20. And you get all of the scripts, what to say, what to text, what not to text, how to seduce, how to answer certain dating formats or questions or whatever he's texting you, what to do when he ghosts you. And each sort of texting script also has a psychological explanation what a man means. Because sometimes a man will say something by text message, and if you don't understand what it means, you don't know how to answer, right? We need to understand the psychology. So it's all in the courses as well. Okay. You're the best, Anna. Have a great dinner. Thank you so much, my loves. It was so nice talking to you, and I'll see you next week. Have a beautiful evening or day wherever you are. Bye.